Hi, my name's Cheri. Welcome to my stamp studio. We are coming to the end of September. I'm not quite sure how that happened because I am 100% certain that it was just yesterday that I was having the conversation with you all that it was the end of summer and it was the end of August and we were heading into Labor Day, and seriously we blinked and now September is ending. So as part of the end of September and the beginning of October, that's kind of where all of this project is coming from. So today I'm going to use the So Much Love stamp set to do our project, and the reason that I'm using it is I want to remind you that it is one of the 2 free sets that if you sign up with Stampin' Up and join my team and get the starter kit in September, so it ends in 3 days, but if you sign up and you get this in your starter kit, it's $125 worth of stuff that you pick, and then you get this and you get the Queen Anne's lace, you get a little card making kit and some free rhinestones, and then all the rest of it you pick. This is just added on for free. And then as part of my team, you always get all of my online classes for free. Sometimes I give you the things that we make, like the supplies, but you always get all the videos for free. You get a fun little welcome pack and all that stuff, but that ends. You get all that for just $99 plus tax. There's not even any shipping on it. So that is ending on the end of September. Then also I'm going to use the die cut machine, and my die cut class ends. And then I'm going to use one of my favorite designer series papers, because starting on October 1st will be our designer series paper sale. And it used to be like buy 3 get 1 free. This year it's just on sale. So this isn't quite finished. I have to do a little bit more to it. I might add a ribbon, I might not, I don't know, I haven't decided. But I'm going to be having some specials. So if you're on my email list and then over on my blog, I will show you what papers are going to be on sale. This one's going to be one of them. The paper I'm using today is one of them. There are several papers in the holiday catalog that are also part of the sale. But if you buy your paper from me, and there'll be some other ways, I'll have that wreath will be one, and then I'll have a couple of other, it's going to be a free class. So the details will be upcoming for that, but that'll happen in October. So we have things starting and things ending. So I just wanted to point that out. But I am going to use So Much Love. And I know it kind of looks like, well, the last time I used it, like it was the end of summer, so I was not making it like a spring. It's kind of a fun year-round set. I don't know that you'd make it at Christmas maybe, but I'm going to do kind of like a resist watercolor technique. So I have just some scrap here of shimmer white, and I've gotten the biggest of the 2 flowers out of it. So this is the big one, and then this is just a Versamark pad. It was a beautiful, glorious fall weekend here. Over the weekend, it was beautiful. It was in the 80s, low 80s. It was so pretty. And then today it's gloomy and gray and raining, and it's like 50. And I have my windows a little bit open, and now I'm freezing. But you know, we had the air conditioning on yesterday, and then we turned it off. So I've just stamped this in Versamark. And then I'm going to emboss it in some white powder. And this is super old because once you have our powder, it will last you until you run out. So you can tell from my blue label that I've had that a while. So just pour it on here. And then just make sure you have some scrap paper. And then every place that you have the where it's stamped, it will stick. Every place else, it just falls off. And then just pour it back in, and then that's why it just lasts forever, because you only use what sticks on there. And then you're going to heat it with your heat tool. I'll stand up a little bit so you can see it. The white on white sometimes kind of hard to see in the video. So I'm just going to heat this up. You want to make sure that you get it all, especially on this one, because, well, all the time. And you'll see it go from kind of dull to shiny. So see how it goes Over here it's still dull and there it's shiny. So I like to hold mine in one place and just move it as it goes shiny so you don't miss any of those tips, like on the ends of your leaves or the ends of your flowers. Because sometimes those get missed. So just get that all nice and embossed. And then kind of angle it around, which is much easier on a beautiful, bright and sunny day. But I think I got it all. And then I'm going to take my snips and just kind of get this around. Now, I want to give this a little bit of a fun effect, which is one of the things that we'll kind of cover. If you buy your cut and emboss machine from me through the end of this month, then you get a free embossing folder of your choice, but then you also get to do, I'm going to do a little free 4-part class. One on just taking care of your machine, one on folders, one on dies, and then one on specialty plates. So none of them will be super long. But that everybody that's in my team will be able to take it. So it's another reason to sign up and join my team. We have tons of fun. So I just cut this little piece out here because I wanted to use a pretty frame die, but I didn't want it to be so big that it was going to cover up the designer series paper that I had. And sometimes when you have one that's going to do the whole flower, then it's so big. So now I've got this in here. I can kind of move this and kind of play with it until I can get kind of angled. And you do lose a little bit of the leaves will come off the corners, but that's okay. So just kind of play with it, angle it the way you want. So see, I'm going to lose some of those. Or you can like cut more, just kind of mess with it, but that's okay. Because now this is going to have a fun effect, and then we're going to lose a little bit of that. So I'm going to pull my machine over. Now, this is one of those times for those of you who are like, I'm not buying new plates. You need to have a fairly clean plate because the embossing, especially white embossing powder, will pick up any of, like if you cut black or red or blue or peacock, any colored cardstock on here, like it sticks in these little grooves. Like right here, you can see right here, I cut red velvet. So there is red velvet cardstock stuck in there. If I do this side down, that's going to stick in my embossing powder. So I'm going to go up on that side. So really a brand new plate would be the best for that, but I just want to show you kind of what might happen. So really a really super cut up plate would be bad news. So see, now you can see this is going to be pretty. We did lose a tiny bit of leaves. And this is from, it's from, I'll put it down below, the one that says blessings. I just used it last week. For those of you that joined me on my lives last week when I kept having mic issues, I just wanted to quit. There's some days, you know, that you're just like, this is not worth it. Like, technology is fabulous until it is not. And last week, it was one of those, it is not. And I fought with my mic. It was the software, because I knew it had it had updated itself, because, you know, you don't have a choice. So I had crossed my fingers, and it has taken my software no longer has the ability to test. Like, I used to be able to test it. Now you just go live. So I went live and there was no sound. So I did it again, no sound. And after I did it like 4 times, I was like, yeah, I can't do this. So I left and I went to TJ Maxx. Well, it really went to the post office. So I have and then TJ Maxx. And then I thought, okay, I'm going to come home and try it again. And I finally got it to work. But, you know, I did really want to cry, but I had makeup on, so you can't. And then, you know, none of my cards were actually done, so we just had to hope for the best. So I have my water painter. And this is the tiniest, you know, they come with 3. And I'm going to use, this is the color palette I went with, because I was actually going to use the Forever Greenery paper, and then I switched after I did it. So you're going to take this is soft seafoam. So the color palette went with paper that I changed my mind on. But I still liked the way it looked. So now I have a little bit of this. I'm just going to get a tiny bit of water. I color in these leaves, and you can see they just kind of come to life then. So just brush over those. You can do this on watercolor cardstock or the shimmery white. If you use regular Whisper White or vanilla, you have to be real careful with the amount of water you put, because it will pill. And you don't want your paper to get all nasty. So it's a little bit like when you were a kid and you had those coloring books. At least I did, you know, where you just brushed water and pictures magically appeared. It gets a really soft, pretty look. It's really nice, like for wedding cards. I'm gonna do one, I think, with the poinsettias next week. So we'll do it again, because obviously it makes a really pretty Christmas look. So I've kind of filled in those. So there's some green, because I want it to be soft, but it does kind of need, I think these cards need a darker color as well. So I have some shaded spruce, so you can see them, because like the little stems and stuff on here. But now I'm going to kind of squeeze my water, because with the dark color, you want the dark color in there, but you don't want so much. See, you can make this little palette. You don't want so much that you're like, oh my goodness, that's spruce. So with this, I'm going to kind of like pull along the edges. Now you can see kind of how it's really getting the edges of that. So I'm going just outside the lines. And then that'll make your edges appear. And then there's a stem. So the darker colors kind of just give it a little bit more definition. And it's really easier for me to do on gray days like this, when I can put my head right over it. I don't want you all to see, and I don't want you to have to look at my head. So just kind of go up and around. It doesn't take very long, and it's really, I find it very therapeutic. So I think that's all the green that we need. And anywhere if you think like that one's got a little much, you can just add some water and kind of smear it off. Like that. And then I've got Bumblebee and Cajun Cray. So I'm going to start with the Bumblebee. And again, you just squish your pads together, and then it just touches on the top. Now, if you do this a lot, you are going to need some refills. You should always get refills, especially for the end colors, because you know they don't last forever. And again, I'm just getting a bunch of water and kind of making a palette in there. And we're just kind of fill that whole thing up, because I want my whole flower to have a yellow undertone. And then we'll go back again with this, just like we did with the seafoam. We'll do the same thing. I have Cajun Craze, because we're giving this a little bit of a fall feel. So now you can see the flower kind of coming to life, but like I said, I think they look better when they have a darker color than added to kind of give them some. And you can see it's not blended well, but now this, when I do the dark, I'll kind of do a better job with aiming for the shading. So this is Cajun Craze. You could use terracotta. You could really pumpkin pie. So let's get the center in there. And again, because this is a dark color, I'm going to kind of pull some out, because you can always make it darker. It's harder to go back later and make it lighter. Just kind of go up around those edges. Especially here on the, like on the outsides, so you can kind of see where the flower itself is. But you're going for a watercolor look, so it doesn't have to be perfect. You don't have to do real shading, because we are doing watercolor. because it has a nice light base. You could do more than 2 colors as well. I'm just doing 2 mainly because of time. So you can see it happen and it won't take a long time. Now you can see, because see that, you can hardly see that, but once we brush that darker color over a little bit, we have the shading and then we can see the flower. Same with this one here. Like that one's kind of, can't hardly see it. And then there it is. So that's all we need to do to paint that. Now this card's almost finished. So for my base, I have vanilla. It's just a half a sheet. And then I have, this is from the Giant In Good Taste pack, and it's huge, and it's one of the ones that's on sale starting on October 1st. And then I'm going to take Cajun Craze, and this is one of the sayings out of the stamp set. And this is terracotta tile, so it's a little bit lighter. See if I got that straight enough. I'm gonna stick it on here first. And these are all just cut 5.5 across. This is just regular seal. Kind of put it down towards the bottom. And I'm just gonna put this one up. That's why I did this one first, just so it can go. And this is really pretty on this side too, but you know, that's what it's like with double-sided paper. You just get one side unless you come up with some fun card. And this one I didn't cut super straight. So just take your snips and there we go. And then I have somewhere soft suede, and this stamp set comes with some little like dots, just some fun little speckles. So I'm just barely gonna touch, like I don't want, you can see there's a whole bunch of them and I'm not getting all of them. So I'm just gonna add a little bit of texture. This is a really great stamp set. I mean stamp if you have smudged your card somewhere. And then I'm gonna take, this is from, I think it's also from the In Good Taste. I put all of the supplies at the bottom because, you know, I use so many different things all mixed up and sometimes I don't remember where they all came from. So for this, I just kind of want to give it the feel that it's wrapped around. So I just have that there and then just kind of make it look like it's wrapped around. So put that there. There. We want it to have a little bit of fray. So we want to make sure that both ends end up sticking out. So there we go. It's a piece of cardstock that I trimmed off. So now you can see how pretty this is with those sticking out. And just kind of wherever, this one's a little bit over from where my sample card is I made a second ago. Just because of however your leaves fall, however your ribbon goes, it can go all the way over here. Let's do this one over here because my other one's over here and you can see it doesn't make any difference. But I'm gonna stick my dimensionals here, just kind of help hold this ribbon into place. In fact, my other one only has 2. I'm gonna snip that one too. We'll get some more of those. I love this ribbon and the way it frays. And this holds it in place. For all of you that feel like you're kind of bow challenged, this is a great ribbon to use. And see, now you can just kind of take your fingers and fray it. So far everything that I've used is in the annual catalog. So I'm gonna do one thing that's in the holiday. So I'm gonna take the just the fine tip glue. I'm just gonna add a whole bunch of little dabs. And you can just be random with it. And some of them can be closer together and some of them farther apart. Just kind of however you want them. And then these are our sequins that don't have any holes. And the colors were just a perfect match for this. So I'm just going to take some of the orange ones, because they're kind of orange and gold. There are some gold ones too. But the oranges and the greens and the yellows in this were just a perfect match for this. And they were sitting on my table and I was like, oh. Because sometimes when I do these videos that have just annual catalog stuff, I like for them to last. Like if you all are watching this and it happens to be February, then you're like, I can still get all this. But this was just too good of a match. And I'm like, yeah, I need to put these on here. And you know, when it's a gray fall day, that's not a bit of glue I'm trying to stick that to. That is a dot that I stamped. But you can see that both the orange and the green match perfectly to the colors I chose. But it just sparkled up my gray day because it's yucky out. Although it hasn't rained in Indianapolis for weeks. So we should be happy that it's finally raining. And I was kind of over, you know, if it's gonna, you know, if you're like me, I like having the windows open. But when it gets to be 80 degrees, like for 2 hours in the afternoon, and it's like 50 degrees at night, but my office is upstairs. And our bedroom has 3 front-facing windows. So it gets super hot. So it's really hard to have the air on unless you want to die at night because it got so hot and it gets hot in my office. And generally I'm cold-natured, so I was like, yeah, if you're not going to be warm enough that I can be outside and be warm, then just go ahead and be fall. And the leaves are turning and we're getting ready to go on vacation. So here's this one. But aren't those some fun little sparkles? There's one on there that's not stuck. This one right here. It'll fall off later when I can knock it. And here's the one I did earlier. This one's a little bit lighter. Both pretty. Both a little bit matched up. I mean, a little bit different, but super pretty. So if you have any questions about joining my team, remember you only have a couple more days. You get to start off the Stampin' New Year on October 1st because that's when Stampin' Up's New Year starts. I have some really fun welcome packets that go out. You get to do all of our team challenges, and we do swaps, and we have online get-togethers. My Try It classes, which are my biggest classes, you do get to, I do send everybody this stuff for that, so we can, if you can get together with us via Zoom, then we do those all together online for, and those are free. And then if you want to be part of my cut and emboss class, you need to get your machine before the end of the month. So that's what I have for you today. I have a lot of classes I'm going to try to squeeze in the next few days because, like I said, we're going on vacation. So everybody have a great day. Bye.